Hello, everyone. My name's Jamie Nolan, and I'm the Associate Vice President for Community, Equity, and Social Justice in the Student Affairs Division. I am very delighted to be part of our Martin Luther King Jr. commemoration. One for me holds special significance and relevance as we continue to navigate these very challenging times. I believe we are all being called to attend to the work of community building, equity, and social justice in a profoundly different way. And I believe that we have within us the possibility to create real and true meaningful change. I would also say that our commemoration this year illustrates that, embodies those qualities. The program has been developed in such a way that we're continuing the commemoration throughout the semester. It's not just a day and we're done. It's a time of reflection and a time of reminding and the possibility for embracing our whole history in order for the possibility one day for there to be the kind of healing I believe we all want. I want to also thank the Martin Luther King Commemoration Planning Committee, and in particular the leadership of Karen Weatherman and Alan Sutton. I think it's been especially important that we've had that partnership with the Common Read, again, connecting all areas of our work. And as I think all of us know at this time, creating the kind of change that we all aspire to requires all of us in one way or another. Nobody has this work down, but we all must participate, I believe. So this year is our inaugural year for having the Community, Equity, and Social Justice Awards. And as I said, it's just such a delight and honor for me to get to participate in this way. These awards recognize the significant contribution, time, and effort of the Washington State University community members towards advancing an inclusive climate. A climate for excellence is activism, advocacy, teaching, research, public service, and academic endeavors. The eligibility for these awards goes this way. The Community, Equity, and Social Justice Awards are given in the following categories: a current Washington State University faculty or staff member, a currently enrolled Washington State University student, a current group or organization affiliated with Washington State University, and an individual or group from the surrounding community. So we're really getting it at all levels, which is also incredibly important. This work will continue, I believe, to be the work of our time. And I'm also sending out my gratitude to the winners and a congratulation to those winners for the amazing work that they do on behalf of community, equity, and social justice.
Hi, I'm John Stramus. I'm an associate professor of comparative ethnic studies in the School of Languages, Cultures, and Race. I nominated Yubi Lajewski for the Inclusive Excellence Award among the Community Equity and Social Justice Honors. She's taken a number of classes from me, so I'm very familiar with her work. She writes elegantly and clearly, gracefully. She thinks powerfully and very, very impressively. And she's worked, I know, as a social justice peer educator. She is a student in both ethnic studies and sociology, and is able to, she's not dependent upon teachers or texts or trendiness for her ideas. She's a very independent thinker and yet a compassionate thinker, community-minded. Last fall in my social justice 400 level class, I asked students for their possible explanations for the fact that a number of people from historically marginalized groups had voted against what seemed to be their best interests. number of great explanations from people, but none as impressive as hers. Very, very critical of our communities, and yet at the same time, very compassionate and understanding. She gets it. I can think of no one in any of my classes in the last several years more deserving of recognition of her commitment to social justice. So I'm very glad for her. Thank you.
First things first, I want to thank y'all for the award. It means so much to me, especially as a first generation student. While I will cherish this award for many, many years to come, I have to shine a light on all of the programs and organizations that I'm a part of that have given me the space to advocate for marginalized folks here on campus, including the Black Student Union Cabinet. Even though we haven't been able to meet in person, I feel like they're a second family here at WSU. The Social Justice Peer Educator Program that allows me to develop my understanding of equity work in a professional setting, and is also the most socially aware work environment that I think exists. And the College of Arts and Sciences Student Ambassador Program that has placed me in front of hundreds of incoming and potential cougs. And lastly, but definitely not least, is the CES professors and instructors. Without y'all, I would be so lost. Within CES, I've really found my place, and I've really found the people who appreciate the things in life that I also appreciate. And once again, I want to thank John Streamus specifically for the nomination. I am so honored to have this award, and I'm looking forward to doing more DEI work here on campus. Thanks, y'all.
Hello, this is John Tomkowiak, founding dean of the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, and it's my pleasure to introduce our nominee, David Garcia, for the Community, Equity, Social Justice, Inclusive Excellence Award. David is so deserving of this award, not only because he embodies the spirit of this award, but also because he shows the determination that it takes to lead his colleagues and entire college towards greater inclusive excellence. Over the past year, David has worked with stakeholders from every corner of the college, campus, and community to help put together a strategic plan that's going to lead us towards greater equity, diversity, and inclusive excellence. In addition to putting this plan together, he's also made sure that he's included ways to measure our progress and hold all of us accountable so that we can achieve the goals that we've set out to. In addition, David is going to be starting a new office of diversity, health justice, and belonging. And this is going to broaden the impact that these initiatives will have on the college and our community. Now I'm going to hand it off to Dr. Layla Harrison, our Senior Associate Dean for Admissions and Student Affairs.
Thank you, Dr. T. Nominating David was easy. David, in the last 2 years I've worked with him, is someone who is humble and compassionate, treats others with respect always. So this is somebody that when you think about this award, he embodies all that it stands for. In addition to that, David grew up in Central Washington, and he knows firsthand the impact of inequity and injustice. And so I think this also drives his want to help others. But that, coupled with his expertise in diversity, equity, inclusion, results in someone who has the tools to enact change, but doing so in a meaningful, thoughtful, and respectful way, in a way that listens to other voices. The last thing I will say is that if you're around David enough, you're going to hear him say the words meaningful and belonging pretty frequently. And I think these are really true to his approach to others. He really wants to seek to create a meaningful space for others in a way that not only helps them feel included, but also that they belong. And that's just a snapshot of who David is. And with that, I'll pass it over to Dr. T.
Thank you, Dr. Harrison. Well, David is certainly a passionate and trusted colleague, and he's already made such an amazing impact in the college. We can't wait to see what's ahead of us all. It's for all these reasons that we nominated David for the Community, Equity, Social Justice, Inclusive Excellence Award. David, congratulations on winning this award.
It's an honor to receive the Community Equity and Social Justice Award this year. I thank those who nominated me, and I recognize that there are many others that are probably more deserving than me that have been doing tons of phenomenal work in our communities that are connected to Washington State University. I'm blessed to be a small part of the LCNS Floyd College of Medicine and the goal of being able to provide culturally relevant care to Washingtonians. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Shamim Raka, and it is my honor to have nominated Dr. Obi Ford III for the inaugural Community, Equity, and Social Justice Inclusive Excellence Award. Dr. Ford III is a warrior for racial and social justice. He has led the Building a Community of Equity, or BASE program, with vision and insight. I am honored to participate on this committee with Obi, and honestly can't imagine a more thoughtful person to have lead our work. Through this program and Obi's leadership, the Vancouver campus has begun to see an increased focus on equity. His work has created brave spaces where faculty and staff can be our true selves, yet reflect deeply upon our practices and policies. Within BASE program evaluations, it's not uncommon to see comments about how people are starting to see changes in their own thinking and ways of being. We are starting to see people engage in practices such as redesigning their syllabus with equity in mind and questioning practices that have been done on our campus for many years without critique. Dr. Ford III is engaged in visionary work that has the potential to change our community into a more inclusive and equitable place to be. Dr. Ford III regularly creates and holds safe and welcoming spaces for faculty, staff, and students of color on our campus. This has been particularly helpful during the pandemic. By holding these spaces, Black, Indigenous, people of color have become a community, which has been a welcoming change. For me, knowing and being known by other Black, Indigenous people of color makes me feel like I belong on our campus. It makes me want to stay. I imagine that I'm not alone in this sentiment. Obi is the embodiment of love on our campus. He is welcoming, caring, passionate, thoughtful, and empathetic. It is refreshing to be in a formal meeting, such as our campus meetings, and have Dr. Ford III take the stage. When he speaks, he does so with passion and love. He's amazingly articulate and is an excellent educator. This combination makes him effective at teaching topics that traditionally make people feel very uncomfortable. He is able to communicate ideas that challenge people's thinking and the status quo in a way that simply most cannot. He is fiercely committed to racial justice and continually reminds us to speak the names of those who have died due to racial injustice. Dr. Obi Ford III is a perfect fit for this new award. Through his work, many have been encouraged to engage in equity work on our campus. Seeing faculty rethink their teaching and seeing staff rethink policies and practices is empowering and important for everyone at our university. We are all very fortunate to have Dr. Ford III as a leader at WSU. Thank you, Obi, for your love of justice and for your gifted leadership.
I'm humbled to be named a recipient of the WSU Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 2021 Community, Equity, and Social Justice Award. I accept this award and share it with the WSU community, including my fellow equity and inclusion professionals of WSU, our students, staff, faculty, and external partners, my home campus of WSU Vancouver, Go Vancougs, and all campuses of the WSU system. Thank you for being change agents and advocates for equity. This year and beyond, let's hold space for joy, remembrance, crucial conversation, reflection, skill building, resource sharing, and action. Let's commit to disrupting the status quo of social power and privilege. and to actualizing real transformation across policies, processes, practices, pedagogies, and people. This is action that's rooted in love. It's love of a critical nature. And Dr. King reminds us the time is always ripe to do what's right. And so let's lead with love and do the good necessary and critical work to realize a beloved WSU community, one that is embedded in equity-mindedness, cultural responsiveness, and inclusive excellence. Let's continue moving forward together. Thank you so much for this honor. Go Cougs! I love you.
Hello, this is Pat Chun, Director of Athletics at Washington State University. And on behalf of our athletic department, it is my honor to nominate our Black Student Athlete Association for the Martin Luther King Distinguished Service Award here at Washington State. Through their leadership, hard work, and dedication, these students have made an incredible impact on our athletics department. The history of our Black Student Athlete Association actually starts in early 2019. Our Deputy Director of Athletics, Brian Blair, came to me with the idea of sending a group of student athletes to Austin, Texas for the Black Student Athlete Summit. Fortunately for us, they came back with a spark, with a purpose, with an idea that they wanted to create a community for our Black student athletes here at Washington State. By fall of 2019, they were up and running with programming, with educational platforms, with a community that really served and educated everybody associated with Washington State athletics. Fortunately for us, as the social unrest happened this past summer, we were blessed to have the leadership of the Black Student Athlete as we did numerous Zoom calls with our Black Student Athlete Association leadership as we shared stories, talked about experiences, helped educate each other, and most importantly, create a safe space for all of us to learn and figure out a way to grow together. I, like many in this athletic department, are proud of the extraordinary work done by these students. This is a group of young people that have sports, academics, but figure out a way that this endeavor was so important to them. The need for this was evident and obvious, and the amount of people it has actually impacted has been pretty special and extraordinary. We are blessed to have these student athletes as a part of our Washington State family. They have impacted us in so many different ways, and they are worthy recipients of the Martin Luther King Distinguished Service Award.
CSEJ, the Collective for Social and Environmental Justice, is housed within the Office of the Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs at Washington State University, Vancouver. Founded in 2002, CSEJ is a voluntary collective comprised of WSU Vancouver faculty, staff, students, and community partners who work together to foster rigorous analysis of social, economic, racial, and environmental justice issues. Since its inception, CSEJ has played an integral role in advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion at Washington State University and in the broader Southwest Washington community. The WSU Grand Challenges Report highlights the exemplary work of CSEJ for conducting and disseminating research that addresses environmental justice issues that impact social and economic opportunities in a diverse citizenry. CSEJ has organized numerous public events, including health equity and disparities conferences, lectures, workshops, and forums on issues of local, national, and global concern. Recent CSEJ-sponsored events include an Environmental and Climate Justice Symposium, a One River Ethics Matter conference centered on examining stewardship of the Columbia River through a tribal lens, in collaboration with the Cowlitz Indian Tribe. Discussion on the High Country News Land Grab series about the role of the Morrill Act, and alienating tribal nations from some 13 million acres of indigenous land, and a workshop on Audre Lorde, Radical Self-Care and Resistance, created and led by Vancouver faculty and students. Over the years, CSEJ has partnered with many organizations and agencies. CSEJ has been cited as a compelling feature of WSU Vancouver campus by candidates for faculty positions in nursing, human development, education, sociology, English, history, and environmental studies. Professor Rennie Christopher cited CSEJ as an important factor in their decision to accept the position of Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs at WSU Vancouver. CSEJ has been particularly important in recruiting and retaining faculty of color, and has a long-standing record as the most diverse unit on the WSU Vancouver campus to date. CSEJ is deeply committed to equality, diversity, inclusion, and justice.
I am thrilled that Vanessa Koza and Sarah Quinn were selected for the Community, Equity, and Social Justice Award. They have made an extraordinary contribution to advancing an inclusive climate among multi-generational, multilingual families in the Tri-Cities while promoting a liberal education to our WSU Tri-Cities students. Vanessa is a scholarly associate professor in the Department of English at WSU Tri-Cities. Sarah is the editor of the community newspaper Tumbleweird and the co-founder of a nonprofit organization called Tri-City Area Gaming, or TAG, that hosts events where families gather to play different types of board games. On its face, it may seem like an unlikely partnership, but Sarah worked with Vanessa's students in technical and professional writing on a creative project to benefit families. The charge to students was to simplify gaming instructions for multiple card games, adult board games, and children's games so that they could be translated into Spanish and Russian for use by local families. This not only benefited the community by helping to strengthen family connection, but it benefits students who learned how to simplify complex language and sentence structure for specific audiences. Vanessa quickly adapted her 400-level professional and technical writing course to tackle the challenge of writing for multilingual audiences, capitalizing on the need for students to write clearly in languages that would support activities by reducing the barrier of jargon and slang. I am so proud of both of their accomplishments and in representing WSU Tri-Cities in this manner. Thank you, Vanessa and Sarah, and congratulations on this tremendous accomplishment.
Hello, my name is Vanessa Koza, and I'm a career track associate professor in English at the WSU Tri-Cities campus. It's an honor to have been selected as one of the winners of the 2021 Community Equity and Social Justice Awards. This recognition reminds me how important it is for the WSU system and WSU Tri-Cities to continue collaborating with organizations that build community, value diversity, and support underrepresented groups. I'd like to take a moment to recognize my community partner, Sarah Quinn, who volunteered and dedicated her time to my students and continues to do diversity, equity, and inclusion work in the Tri-Cities area.
Hi, I'm Sarah Quinn. I edit Tumbleweird, a local monthly paper, and I'm also a board member of Tri-City Area Gaming, which we call TAG. Vanessa gave me the opportunity to work with her students doing community projects, and I did that for both Tumbleweird and TAG. For the TAG project, we asked Vanessa's class to take popular board game instructions and rework them, making them simpler to understand. One of our missions at TAG is to increase accessibility. We also serve a lot of students and families that don't speak English, or they speak English as a second language. One of our main goals with the project was to create easy to understand instructions that we could also translate easily into other languages. So I was amazed at the results. Some of the students understood, they had firsthand experiences with how difficult instructions can be to follow, even for native English speakers. And a few of the students recounted experiences where they had to read board game instructions and then try to explain the rules to their parents. So they had experience with that. So even though it wasn't part of the grade, a few of them even translated their simplified versions of the instructions into Spanish for us, which was really great, super helpful. It was just an amazing experience.
I think community partners like Sarah give our students the opportunity to learn valuable lessons that go beyond our classrooms. They allow students to do necessary and rewarding work while also learning more about the community they live in. They also get to meet the people that strive to make a difference every day. Thank you so much for this recognition and for your support.